Hey everybody, this is Nick Baldwin, and today I'm being joined by UFC featherweight Jared Gordon, who's coming off a big win over Danny Chavez at UFC Fight Night this past weekend. Jared, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it, and congratulations on this big win over Chavez just 5 days ago. Now that we're a few days past this fight, 5 days later, how are you feeling about how it all played out, about your performance overall?
The performance was good. Obviously, want to finish. Dominated all 3 rounds, so that's always good. But just upset about the missed weight. Um, but I know that I put everything into it, and I did what I was told to do and what I thought I should do. So I don't necessarily have regrets. I'm just a little disappointed.
Sure. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to talk a little bit about the win and where this puts you in the UFC right now. You're now riding your first two-fight winning streak since your first two fights in the UFC back in 2017. So does it kind of feel like you're getting some of that momentum you already had back since a bit of a rough patch you had?
Yeah, at 55, it was tough for me. I think I'm a smaller 55er. And, now that I got back to the weight class I feel like I should be in, I was able to get back on a streak. Unfortunately, missed weight, and that puts me in a pretty bad position, obviously, with the UFC. Um, and so, I mean, yeah, I got some traction. Two-fight winning streak. That was the first fight on my third contract. So I'm in a good place as far as that goes, but I don't know what they're going to want me to do as far as weight classes, but I'll just take that as it comes.
Do you feel like anything's changed in the past year or so? I mean, obviously you have changed camps, so that is a big career change for you, and maybe that's what you sort of credit this recent winning streak with or on. But is that what you think has gotten you back on track, or is there something else that you've just been able to improve overall? Like why have you been able to get past your 1-3 sort of stint, and now you're on a winning streak again?
Um, well, yeah, I think the move to Sanford has played a huge part in that. Definitely more my style, more geared towards what I'm good at, fighting wise. Also, my original coach, Jason Strout, came down and worked for me for the whole camp, cornered me in the fight. So that definitely played a big part in it, I think, as well. Just getting back to what got me to UFC and what got me my first two UFC wins as well. So he's back in the picture at Sanford. And then, being back down at 45, I think also helped me as well.
Sure. And as you mentioned a few minutes ago, you did miss weight by 4 pounds for this fight against Chavez. Can you kind of just walk us through what happened and from your point of view, anyways, why you did miss weight?
I mean, I did everything I was told to do. I was eating the way I was told to eat. I don't know if it's coincidence that me and I don't know how many other people missed weight that night.
There's a couple, yeah.
I don't know if that was coincidence, but the sauna that I was, I'm not trying to make excuses. The
Sure.
sauna I was using, I just wasn't sweating it. When I was in Abu Dhabi, when I fought in Abu Dhabi, I made 45 on the dot. I didn't even need the extra pounds. So, I went in there feeling good. I was water loading, doing all the things I'm supposed to do. And then it just stopped. I just stopped sweating. I was sitting in the sauna for a long time, not even a glisten of sweat. Got in the bathtub, not even a glisten of sweat. And then we decided that it's probably smart to stop because I started, feeling really, really crappy. And we called it. So, I had to give up some of my purse. And then my back was against the wall a little bit. You don't want to miss weight and lose, obviously. So, uh, you know, I was told from someone, and it made a lot of sense. No one remembers the circumstances; they remember the outcome. And I went in there and had a dominant performance. So I'm hoping the UFC gives me another chance at 45. I'm really not trying to think about it too much and
Sure.
worry about, oh, I'm back at 55. Um, See what happens. Take it as it comes, and hopefully it works out.
At what point did you realize during the weight cut that you just weren't going to make it, and you ultimately did stop cutting, as you said? Like how close to the weigh-ins, to the actual weigh-ins, were you to when you realized you just weren't gonna get down there?
I mean, so I got to 150, and I'm like, all right, let's take a break. I waited like 6 hours, and I got back in there, and it just wouldn't come.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, it was just like I'm not really sure what happened. You know, normally I don't have a problem sweating, and you know, I started feeling really, really bad. My vision started to get a little blurry. I couldn't really hear out of my right ear. I was dry heaving a little bit. I was feeling nauseous, and at that point, I'm like, all right, do I really want to push? Even if I got like another pound off or so, maybe more, you know, I'd probably really feel crappy if I did that. So I was, you know, I gotta take, you know, push more and maybe probably miss weight anyways, or save myself the agony and the suffering and the health, you know, possible health issues. Maybe I would push really hard and then I would have to pull out of the fight, you know. So
Sure.
my health obviously comes first before anything, and I wanted to make sure I got in there. So that's when we decided, you know, all right, enough's enough.
So at this point, I mean, you've been walking through all of these sort of symptoms you had as you were cutting weight, trying to get down to 146. But it still sounds like you want to fight at featherweight. That's your preference. Why not just move up to lightweight again and commit to that division, where you'd be cutting 10 less pounds?
Well, I truly believe I'm a 45. Every fight that I've had at 45, I've won. Besides one fight before UFC that I was winning every round, and I just got caught really badly, and they stopped the fight. So that was out of my control. I just think I'm a smaller. If I fight at 55, I'm a smaller 55er. I'm shorter than most guys. My reach is. I'll have a 68-inch reach. These guys at 55 are 75, 74, some 76 inches. You know, most guys are like 72, 71-inch reach. You know, I'm 68-inch reaching. You know, I'm not the biggest 55er. These guys are walking around at 190 pounds. If I'm 190, I'm sloppy fat. So,
Sure.
you know, these guys are 190, 185, and they're muscular and shredded, and they're taller and longer. So, I just think that's my weight class, and I just have to make adjustments. You know, I know I have the team of people and the nutritionists and the guys that can help me do it correctly. And, you know, I've proven that I can do it. You know, I went to Abu Dhabi alone, no coaches, no one, and I made 45 on the dot. You know, and my opponent missed weight that fight, Chris Fishgold, and I dominated him. So, I'm sure, you know, I've won a lot of fights at 55 before UFC, in UFC. So I don't see, you know, I know I can win there. It's just, you know, when guys are really, really, really big and they're also really, really, really technical, it gets really hard. You know, where do I find the advantage, you know? So I'm just, in this game, you need all the advantages that you can get.
Yeah, it sounds like it kind of just comes down to the fact that you believe your most upside is at 145 compared to 155.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Obviously, it doesn't sound like there's been any talk with UFC yet about what they want you to do, whether they're going to give you another shot at 45 or make you go up. It's just been 5 days or so. So no
Yeah, so,
conversation yet?
you know, I came home. I'm just happy, obviously, to stay in the win column. And, you know, I'm not, like, rushing anything. I'm not pushing people's buttons. You know, let the dust settle, you know, and maybe, you know, they'll give me another shot, and I'm just hoping that's what happens.
Now, I want to stop talking about cutting weight and all that. I want to talk a little bit about your move to Sanford. How long have you been down in Florida now? About a year?
Yeah, just about full time. I was back and forth for like 2 years because my fiance lives down here in Florida. So, you know, I would be at Rufus-Sport, and after fights or whatever, I would come down here and be here for a couple months. And I've known
Sure.
Henry Hoofed for like 11 years, 10, 11 years. So anytime I'm here, he's like, come on, come train with us. And so I decided to make the full move. I've been here for a year, and it's been one of the better decisions career-wise that I've made, I think.
In what way?
It's just geared more towards like my style. You know, Rufus Sport is a striking gym. I'm not saying that like I learned so much at Rufus Sport, and Duke is great coach, and he helped me a lot with a lot of different things, and I took what worked for me from there. But this place is more geared for me. You know, heavy grappling, heavy wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Henry Hooft is great kickboxing coach, and you know everything is simple. Like I'll never be Anthony Pettis or Sergio Pettis, or you know I'll never have that style. So for me, this was you know it just fits me better, and the environment plus my fiance's here. I don't got to travel back and forth. I was paying rent in 2 different locations. You know, it's more cost efficient. Style wise, it's more geared towards what I do, and you know, it's just better fit for me all together.
Now, I would imagine over the past year or so, you've noticed some improvements and some growth in your game since being there, just because that gym is a bit more geared towards your style compared to Rufus Sport. What are those improvements, assuming you do feel like you've grown since the move?
Just like little nuances, like certain, you know, grappling transitions, wrestling transitions on the takedowns, certain just little things that, you know, will take you a long way, little details that, you know, make all the difference in, you know, in the game, you know, stuff that you might not necessarily see on camera, but, you know, makes a huge difference for my game. And that's really, you know, I'm just tightening a lot of things up and stuff that, you know, stuff that I was doing, but now I'm just doing it a lot more and drilling it way more. So it's just more effective. And, you know, instead of having to work really, really hard for something, you know, it's just coming easier, and, you know, just little things that make a big difference in fights.
Now, something I noticed when I was looking at your record before this is that all your wins have been decisions since your UFC debut, and usually fighters like to go for finishes. But could this be a good thing? Because, you know, for every decision, that's just more cage experience you're getting. Like, do you not mind that a lot of your fights have been going the distance lately?
I mean, if you watch my my second UFC fight, that fight should have been stopped. The ref even stopped me and then said, "Oh, keep going." And you know, I was fighting a Brazilian in Brazil, and like after the second round, Jose Aldo had to pick him up off the floor, Hakan Diaz, and any other state or city that the ref would have stopped the fight. In my the Fishgold fight, I almost had him out of there. It was really, really close. Mark Goddard was, you got to move, you know, screaming, "You got to move, Chris, you got to move." And he was unconscious at one point. I remember hitting him, and his eyes were rolling in the back of his head. And, you know, but that's fine. You know, I haven't gotten the finish in a while, but I'm dominating guys. And, you know, that will come with time. Finishes will come with time. You know, I'm not, you know, you know, it would be nice to have a couple more finishes, but, you know, I'll take the decision. Obviously, any way I can win is you know, that's the goal. Winning is the goal. And, you know, but yeah, like you said, it gives me cage time. I've been in that octagon for a while. You know, you see guys, you know, they never get past the first round, and then they get put into deep waters, and they start to struggle. So I know I can go the distance. I believe I'm a 5-round fighter. I can fight 5 rounds. And the finishes will come. You know, I had a lot of finishes before I got into UFC, and they'll come.
Yeah. Now, in terms of when you want to get back in there, you didn't take really a whole lot of damage against Chavez. Looking at your face 5 days later, maybe a little nick under your right eye or something, but not much damage at all. When are you hoping to get back in there?
You know, when they call me, I'll go. I'm going back. I'm in the gym. I've been in the gym training. I'm in the gym right now. I'm about to train right now. Trained this morning. Trained hard yesterday. Yeah, I'm not really injured. You know, a little, you know, regular nagging stuff, couple bumps and bruises, but I'm ready. They call me, I'll take a fight.
Now, one last thing I want to touch on before I let you go is your good friend Belal Muhammad is getting a huge opportunity against Leon Edwards next month. Big welterweight bout, and one that could really skyrocket him into title contention if he gets a win. What do you make of that fight that you know, Belal Muhammad stepped up on short notice for?
I think right now he's in a good position because, you know, Leon hasn't fought, I don't think, since 2019. Bilal's been very active. Leon's a monster, obviously. He's super technical, really good takedown defense. He's good on the floor, too. He's a stud. I just think Bilal's been more active. He's got a really good style, I think. He's got to really, really mix it up and push the pace hard. And I think Belal will come out to win. If he did what he did in his last fight, pushes the pace, it's a 5-round fight. So maybe later on he could even, if Leon stuffs the first couple of takedowns, just keep going for it, keep working, and maybe he'll get tired. It's been a while, but Leon's ranked number 2 or 3 for a reason. So I think it's going to be a great fight, and obviously I'm pulling for Belal.
For sure. Jared, thanks so much again for the time. As always, really appreciate it. Before I let you go, if there's anything you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
No, just a big shout out to my team, Sanford MMA, my managers, Sucker Punch, and that's it.
All right, Jared. Thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.